The Real Estate Hour, the longest-running real estate talk show in the North Bay, heard every Sunday morning right here on KSRO for over 35 years. Hosted by Allison Norman and Stephanie Norman, local realtors with local real estate experience. The Norman Home Team, a mother-daughter real estate team with Keller Williams Realty Wine Country. Now, here are Allison and Stephanie.
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Happy spring. Is
this the last Sunday of March?
Yeah,
wow,
it is.
It flew by.
Coming up, we will have to do. We usually do some April Fool's kind of. Not an April Fool's joke, but April Fools, things that can fool you in real estate. We'll do that next week. But
even though it won't be April Fools anymore, that's okay.
We forgot it. It was, how did March? It was just like March 1st.
I
know. Right, Joe?
Celebrated your birthday.
We had a good time. We actually went to, do you golf, Joe?
I gave it up about 20 years ago.
Okay, I know, and Mike Kelly was an avid
frustrating game. I compared it to bowling. No matter how bad you were in bowling, how bad a night you were having, the ball came back to you.
Yeah,
Golf, you could be anywhere.
And it was fun. So I have not golfed in a really, really long time, and if really ever, I don't think ever on a full course, 18 holes. And so we did something crazy and fun, and for my birthday we went to the Windsor golf course and played golf. And it was a beautiful day, and it's such a pretty golf course, and it's not it's open to the public. It's not no dress code required, which is interesting. Some of the clubs you have to wear. The women have to wear a skirt. The men have to wear shorts. It's interesting. But
we had fun though. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. We had a good time.
It was
nice fun because this will be the year of doing things different.
I loved your shirt.
My T-shirt. I forgot. Yes, I posted it on Facebook. So
that
I found
awesome.
this shirt that was very appropriate for my birthday and my 62nd year around the sun. And it said, what did it say? It's weird being the same age as old people. Yeah. So I got
something I can relate to.
Right, I know, and I hope I don't offend anyone, but no, there were a couple of people that said, "Oh my gosh, I love this shirt." Mostly people that of my age or older, And I'm,
it's awesome.
But it is, we never, we're as old as we feel, right?
Exactly.
So yes, like I said, bring on the senior discounts now.
And
it's, we work with a lot of seniors. We work, I'm a senior real estate specialist. I mean, we promote that. We're in groups that are people that work with the senior community, and to be suddenly in that group, I mean, slowly inching. I've been inching, but now officially, it feels funny to say, I work with seniors. It's like, that's me too, but
work with my own people.
We also work with a lot of younger people, and we work with all walks of life. We do not, obviously we can't discriminate, but we don't anyway. And really, if you're a first-time buyer scraping up money to buy a house, or if you have a multi-million-dollar home to sell, we handle all phases of real estate, right? And land, we've got a couple of...
even if you have a house you're aging up, we can help you with that?
Yeah, downsizing and all of that good stuff. And we do have a couple of listings. We have a couple that we can't... that aren't really ready to really promote yet. But we do, as a reminder, we still have that quarter-acre piece of bare land in San Rafael on Coleman Drive. It's a Columbia Bank, which was formerly Umpqua. It's a bank-owned property, and it's just bare piece of land. It's a hillside lot. It's kind of a little bit of a hard build because of the restrictions of City of San Rafael requiring parking and a garage space and all of this, and it's on a road that really doesn't allow for that. So it's going to be it's interesting. We have gotten some inquiries, but it's still available. Oh, gosh, bring us an offer. It's $100,000. I think Columbia Bank would love to get it off their books. So I think there's some room in there to just bring us an offer and see how it goes. And there are some the city of San Rafael, I will have a hard time not saying Santa Rosa, city of San Rafael, they will make some accommodations for the lack of ability to add that required parking and all of that. So they do make some accommodations if you just can't, build on something because of those restrictions. They'll work with you to make it work. And there are homes all along Coleman Drive that are built into the hillside. Beautiful, beautiful views once you are on the, about halfway up, not even halfway up. When I walked it, I could see out across, you could see the Richmond San Rafael Bridge. You can see, I think you can see the city too. You can just look across the whole, the across the bay there. And it's just a really cool property. So $100,000. Bring us an offer.
Yes,
and then we do have a new listing in Sebastopol. I can't give out the address yet because we don't have a presentable yet. They're gonna do some cleaning up, and we'll get it on the market in the next couple weeks. Also has some peekaboo views, as they say, over across to the east. What is that mountain? Hood? Is it Hood Mountain? Not Mount Hood, but Hood Mountain. Yeah. Looking to the east from Sebastopol over to the east. And it's 2 acres. Very level, usable, the slight downhill slope at the bottom of the property, but it's very usable, cross-fenced, 2 acres. It has this really cute small barn. What else? It's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. It's going to be a fixer. So anybody that's looking for those fixers, this is the one. They're selling it as is. We're just doing some cleanup to get it ready and presentable for the market. And it is listed at, what are we listed at? $795,000. $795,000. 2 acres in Sebastopol.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that. We've got a couple of other country property or large parcels country property that we're working on as well. So those are coming up. The market has just taken off, isn't it?
It is. It's that spring market we always warn you guys
about. We've been saying, and it's here. Not only we're seeing a lot of homes come on the market, properties come on the market, but we're also seeing a lot of go into escrow. A lot of buyers out there. Starting to see those multiple offers again. And I know a lot of people say, oh, well, I don't want to be in a multiple offer situation, but that's kind of where we are right now. So you have to act really quickly on anything that comes on the market that you are slightly interested in. Really, I mean, you don't want to put an offer in before you're sure that you're interested in it. Don't just be throwing offers around. But hopefully what we really like to see is that there's inspections and everything up front. You can put a strong offer in. Sometimes you can remove some of those contingencies.
Yeah, and along with that, I just want to say if you're selling your home, do those inspections beforehand. They really save you in the long run.
Yeah, it really helps, and a lot of times people aren't really in the position to do that. Maybe they don't have the funds available. There are some programs and some of the inspectors that will allow you to pay at close of escrow. We really recommend that. It makes your property stand out. It may, for one, but the biggest benefit of it is, like Stephanie just said, is that it keeps it from falling out of escrow, or it makes it less likely.
Yeah, there's no surprises that pop up with your buyers.
Right, and they're looking, and if they come back, and they can still, as a buyer, you can still do your own inspections. If there are, you can bring your contractor out, have them look. You can get prices on everything that maybe weren't in the disclosure packet. What we like to do is if on the seller side, if you get those inspections done and there are items that come up, you don't necessarily have to fix them, but getting bids to say this, here's what's wrong with this property, here's what it's going to cost to fix it based on the bids that we got. And still, as a buyer, you can come in and say, well, I want to get my own inspections, I want to get my own bids, and you still have that contingency in place where you could say, well, I didn't know it was going to cost that much. I didn't know it was going to be that extensive. And then you can either ask them to do it, the seller, or you can say, this isn't the right property for me.
And another big thing with that is that if you don't do those inspections beforehand or get those bids, the seller or the buyers will come, get the inspections, big things will come up, and they'll come back with huge bids that they got.
And a lot of times they're higher than they really should be.
So it's those inspections beforehand really.
And a lot of times the estimates that come from the home inspection and the pest inspection, they just do that. Some of it is that work that they'll do themselves, but other is just they have a guide that they can look at, a book. It's not a book, but anyway, they can go online. It used to be a book, and just say, okay, there's this work that needs to be done, and it'll say based on today's rates and all of this, or today's cost of building and all that, this is what it'll probably cost. They're notoriously high in their estimates. So, that's why we like to get an estimate from somebody who's actually going to do the work, and this is what they're going to charge. So,
Exactly.
but it is really important if you can find a way to do those inspections up front. It really saves you in the long run of not having things fall apart and not having a buyer come back and negotiate, huge credits and all that because they say they didn't know, and you say, well, really, we gave you all this information. Yes, you did know because it was right here. Anyway, so it doesn't foolproof.
Yeah, exactly. And along with that spring market, we're going to have the market update for you guys. All the numbers from this week, and then
what's currently happening in the market, and then you have what happened last week, right? Exactly. What else do we have going on? Our big exciting guests. We love having
Ettamarie Peterson, beekeeping expertise.
Yes, extraordinaire. So, Ettamarie Peterson, she's been a guest every spring. We kind of think about, we should talk to Ettamarie.
In spring, those bee swarms come, and everyone's like, what do I do with this swarm of bees? Call Ettamarie Peterson.
Yeah, you can call. And so Ettamarie is a beekeeper. And really, if you know a beekeeper, they're just waiting for someone to call them.
Definitely.
And there is the Sonoma County Beekeepers Association, and they have a list. But the reason we like to recommend Ettamarie is she also trains young people to become beekeepers. And so she's part of the 4-H program down in Petaluma. But she has 4-H students from all over the county, and the swarms that she gathers goes to her kids that are waiting for a swarm to start their own beehive and learn the art of beekeeping. And so it's amazing things that she does. So we're going to talk to her at 9:30.
Yeah, and then along with those swarms, there's all those flowers blossoming, and allergies are the worst this season.
They are.
I am being very affected by it, and I never have been. So.
Yeah. Well, it didn't help, but we just put them outside. But we had, because it was my birthday, we had
flowers.
2 different bouquets of flowers in the house, and I'm like, well, maybe it's that. So I moved them outside today. But it is, and then on the news this morning, they were saying it's longer and stronger than usual. So if you're suffering from those allergies, you're not alone. Our thoughts are with you. It's really annoying. Anyway, so that's what we're going to talk about today. A little bit about when we come back to there are beekeeping ordinances around Sonoma County. Just things to think about when you're buying. It's one of those other things. If you are a beekeeper or want to have bees, make sure that you know what's allowed in your city, or if you're in unincorporated Sonoma County, there are some restrictions. Some cities more than others, and Ettamarie can tell us more about that and what was going on with the city of Santa Rosa.
And we also want to just do a run over or a quick
overview.
Thank you. Quick overview
what is the
new
word?
Homes.
Oh yeah, we can.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll have time to talk about that.
Yeah, real quick.
Let's
just say it real quick. Okay, so I know we do talk about it often, and not really often enough. And as much as we talk about it, it still kind of goes right past a lot of people to understand. If you're looking for a new home, one that's brand new, where they have the open homes and you can go look and walk the models, they're going to require you to register. If you go there by yourself and you register, it's really hard. I won't say you can't, because I think now with the new rules with the buyer broker agreement and all of that, I think if you can show that you are contracted with a buyer's agent. But what happens is, and I don't know that for sure, I think they still can say, well, you didn't register your agent. You didn't, not even that, you have to come with your agent has to come with you. And then they'll let you have your own representation. Otherwise, you're being represented by the builder, and it's basically a dual agency at that point. And it still is, what they usually do is they'll pay a referral to the agent, and they'll still, but you'll still have the opportunity to help guide. We will, as the agent, have the opportunity to help guide our buyers through the process. They just pay it out a little bit different. But it's really important, and we don't mind, right? The messages, the things that people say.
It
I
is
didn't want to
never
bother you.
a bother to help you look at, even if you're just looking at houses and you might not buy one. We don't mind taking the time to show you. It's good for us. We get out there, we see what's out there, and it's never a bother. It's what we like to do.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's what we get paid. It's what we get paid to do. So yeah, and a lot of times people just go, "Oh, let's go stop by this place." Well, now they have you, you know, because they've required you to sign in, and they say, "Do you have a realtor you're working with?" You know, and even then, they say you have to have a realtor with you to sign in with you when you go. So it's really
very
important.
different from just going to an open house.
And it's not just about us getting paid. It's about you suddenly having no representation because you went there on your own.
We want to protect our clients. But on that note, I believe we need to go to a break.
We do. Okay, let's take a quick break. I'm Allison Norman.
I'm Stephanie Norman.
We are the Norman Home Team, and you're listening to the Real Estate Hour. We'll be right back. Good morning. We have a new intro. It's throwing me a little bit. Where's that the real estate hour music we've had for 30 years?
I know. What is that?
It's okay. It's nice. Change is good. Yes. But I'm used to that. It was from the James Bond or something. Duran Duran, I think. Anyway, we're back. Let's talk about the real estate numbers, what happened in real estate this last week. And then don't forget, we do have Ettamarie Peterson calling in to talk about all things bees.
So stay tuned. She'll call in at 9:30.
Yay. Okay, so what happened in the real estate market? Like we said, it's really starting to pick up.
It really is.
And we do have now 671 active single-family homes in all of Sonoma County. That number's up, it's been inching its way up. It was 619 last week. It was, like a month ago, it was in the 500s. It was down into 400s. But last year, it was like 1,100. So we're not in a dangerous place where we're going, oh my God, we have too much inventory. We still have a lot of people out there looking, and like I said, multiple offers are coming in. And 324 went into escrow. So it's good to see that there's that nice even mix of the market coming up, inventory coming up, but also buyers coming up. And in escrows and homes actually selling is coming up along with the increased inventory. Condos, we have, and the median, and I forgot to write the median of what's in escrow, but I would imagine it's probably in that 800 to 900 range. But the active right now, median active listings for single family homes, 1.2 million. That's just what's sitting on the market. And that's a little bit higher usually than what's actually going into escrow, because that lower price brings that median number down. And that's really what we're selling more of, is the lower price homes.
They go fast.
Condos, 132 active condos with 55 in escrow. Multi-units, there are 86 active on the market. I'm sorry, take that back. Mobile homes, that's mobile homes. There's 86 active on the market and 40 in escrow. Multi-units, which is 2 to 4 units, there are 94 on the market, active on the market, and there are 10 in escrow. That's normal for there to be that big difference between the multi-unit active and in escrow. And then land is back up over 307, or back up over 300. It came down for a little bit. Under 300, it's back. That's one that we don't like to see the number that high, because only 29 are in escrow. Yeah, so
land takes longer.
There's a lot of land out there. The right piece of land is hard to find, but there's a lot of land to look at. Anyway, that's what's currently active on the market and in escrow right now. The whole look at all of Sonoma County. We can break that down to anything you are interested in keeping an eye on, whether it's where you live, where you're moving to, a certain type of property, a certain neighborhood. We can break all of this down and send you weekly or bi-monthly or monthly number, look at what's happening in the market. Definitely. Or just call us and say, hey, what's happening in my section.
And all these numbers we post on our Facebook page, Real Estate Hour with Allison and Stephanie Norman, so don't worry about keeping track of them.
You don't have to,
be on the Facebook page at some point today.
And you can follow it along. Stephanie has a look at what happened this last week, so just from last Sunday to this Sunday, we like to keep an eye on what happened there.
It's single family residential from last Sunday to this Sunday. We have 168 new listings, which I believe is up from last week. Yeah, last week was 120. Today it is 168. And back on the market, we have 11. So for the new listings that are 1 at 68, they are at a median list price of $942,000. And then back on market 11, price reduction 39, in escrow 75, pending 75 as well, and sold 59 at a median sold price of 925,000 with an average of 132 days on the market. And that is mostly because that high number is most likely because there was a more
longer days on the
yes,
market.
thank you. Trying to find my words.
I know, we're all, what? Why is that such a big number? And when
So that's when a house or listing is on the market for longer. So there was probably a couple. This one, it was like around like 14 listings that were on the market longer. So that's what made that 100 days higher. Or those days on the market
days on the
higher.
Market. Yeah, it was. I pulled it up because she said that, and I'm all, wait, what? So that it's actually So there were 15 or 16 of the 59 houses that sold. That were on the market for over 100 days. And I think half of those were over 120 days. So that brought that number up when you look at the average.
Yeah.
And so we usually like to, everything else we look at the median. For some reason, I started doing average days on the market. And then you can just kind of follow it up because that's how I was doing it. But if you look at the median days on the market, it's like 30 days on the market.
Yeah, which makes more sense at this spring market we're in right now.
Yeah. And the difference is the median is the middle of the market, and it's like a needle that goes up and down. The average is, if you basic math, you add all of them together, divide it by the number, and that's you get your average. So anyway, anything else on that? We've got 1 minute before we got to take a break.
So I just want to say congratulations to all of you who either sold or bought a home. Congratulations to all of you involved. It is a long process. And you did it. Woo-hoo. Congratulations.
Yeah, and just quick before we go to break, we were going to talk a little bit about the interest rates. They are up again. It has a lot to do with, what's happening in the world right now. Rising inflation, increased oil prices, driven by geopolitical tensions, have driven this upward trend. If you had a great lender, they would have seen that come in and they would have locked you in, because if you're in escrow, and they can tell you when it's a good time to lock in that interest rate. And we know a few lenders that said they got their clients locked in right before it went up, because they get more information. They see what's coming.
Exactly. Yeah.
So interest rates are up. They're around averaging around six and a half, somewhere like that. So if you didn't get it locked in, I'm sorry, but keep trudging away. And just know that you should check back in with your lender if you have been pre-qualified. We got to take a break. I'm Allison Norman.
I'm Stephanie Norman.
Norman Home Team. You're listening to the Real Estate Hour. Stay tuned for Ettamarie Peterson. Good morning.
Good morning. We're back.
Welcome back, and we're excited to talk about. I want to just preface all of this by, two things. One, my dad, when I was growing up, decided he was going to have some bees, so we had bees in suburban Terra Linda, and that was kind of my little intro to beekeeping. And then fast forward 40 50 years, when I was working with Mike Kelly, we had a bank-owned property that had been boarded up, and some bees got in between a piece of plywood and the sliding glass door, and they built this very cool observation hive. And we said, oh my gosh, what do we do? And so somebody gave us Ettamarie Peterson's name, and she came out with all of her gear, and we were just so fascinated by the whole process. And that began really Mike Kelly's love affair with the bee and beekeeping. And so he, of course, had to go get a couple of hives and then got involved with the Sonoma County Beekeepers Association and stayed very good friends with Ettamarie Peterson, as I did as well. So we have Ettamarie Peterson on the line, and she's such a gift to Sonoma County. Welcome. Yeah. We're talking about you like you're not here. Welcome, Ettamarie. How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm so happy to hear from you.
Oh, I know. It's so nice. We always think, spring is here. Start thinking about the bees, and you're always in my head talking when I pull a dandelion out of the ground, because you always say, leave them there for now. But anyway, so you've left an imprint on me for that. But anyway, we're really excited to have you on and to introduce you. So as a I know you've been doing beekeeping for a long time, but and educating people, and now working with the 4-H kids. But do you want to just talk a little bit of how you got started in beekeeping, and really kind of where that took you to where you are now?
Okay, yeah. I got started in beekeeping sort of like Mike did. It was an accident. Bees had decided to live in our barn wall, and we could actually, they had eaten through some fiberboard we'd put inside the barn wall, and they made this massive hive, like the one behind the sliding doors in that house.
Yeah.
And we were fascinated by them. Didn't know anything about bees, but we just liked them. And then they swarmed down by the mailbox, and a beekeeper came to capture them. And I was out pulling weeds and saw the guy, and I dragged him up to the barn and showed him how we had been so fascinated by them that we'd even made an observation window.
That's so cool.
And he said, well, if you like these bees, I can bring them back to you. He said, you have to go up to Western Farms and buy the boxes and join the Beekeepers Club. In those days, it was just a little club. This was over 30 years ago.
Wow.
And so I followed his directions. Western Farms was the only place you could buy equipment at that time. That kind store wasn't open then. So anyway, I got the box and put it together, and I went to the bee club meeting and met some nice people who became my mentors. And I had no knowledge of bees. I just asked a lot of questions, and I got on a chat room on my computer with some Irish beekeepers.
Oh, interesting.
And I actually wound up going to Ireland, 3-4 times to the Irish Bee School.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
I met some wonderful people, and I just have had more fun and visited around the world now. I've met Greek beekeepers and Irish and English, and it's so much fun. It's opened a lot of doors for me.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Yeah, and my son talked me into being the 4-H beekeeper leader because he wanted his daughters to be beekeepers so he could have the honey.
Well, sounds like a good deal to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he has seasonal allergies, and he thought the honey would help that.
Oh.
Right.
And,
we were just talking about allergies
yeah.
too, and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, what honey does is it cures the symptoms. Like if you have a sore throat, honey is just ideal for healing. The honey has all these healing properties.
Yeah.
So, if you have a wound, a burn, anything.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
very healing. And it's one of the oldest natural remedies in the world.
Wow.
People knew about it thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
How it can heal.
Right. And
it's not, yeah.
Yeah, and the bees themselves do important work too. I know it's really important, and so training all the young up and coming beekeepers in 4-H, I think, is so important, and such a good thing that you're doing. So you're what does your group of 4-H kids look like this year?
Oh, I have a very interesting group. The youngest is a 5-year-old.
Oh, wow.
And he just got his first bee. I caught a swarm the other day, and I gave it to him. And the little boy was so excited,
That's awesome.
Cute. How exciting.
His first bees were a swarm I got in Petaluma. And this little boy's father is Petaluma fireman, and he's got bees. But now the little boy has his own bees.
Wow, and he's learning.
My oldest is 16.
Okay.
The children I've had, the longest in my beekeeping 4-H group, started when they were 5, and now they're bigger than I am. Because I'm only 5 feet tall, but
right. They all eventually get taller. We're both right about that height, also, but 5'2".
Yeah. It's amazing how watching them grow. And one of my beekeeper girls was so good. She Emily is now in her 3rd year in Cal Poly.
Oh,
and she's got a beehive in her backyard.
Oh, that's great.
She lives down the street or her house is down the street from Petaluma City Hall, and it's a really strong hive.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
You know, when she comes home from school on her breaks, she gives me a call, and we do a little hive inspection, and her folks watch the colony out their bedroom window.
Oh, wow.
They keep tabs on it, too.
Yeah, they're so interesting to watch.
Yeah, they really are.
So,
yeah.
So when you get a swarm, and we'll talk about what a swarm is in a minute, but when you get a swarm, you are mostly right now looking for a swarm for your 4-H kids?
Exactly.
Yeah, so...
They're my high priority. Yeah.
Right. And so I think it's important why we like to let people know that is because there's a long list of beekeepers that would love to come get a swarm if you see one.
Oh, yeah.
Ettamarie, and I'm not saying you're the only person because I don't know what other people are doing with their swarms, but I know that you are specifically looking for them for educational purposes to give them to the kids. I know you have a couple of observation hives and you go around and teach beekeeping and all of that to educating people. So I think that's a really good reason for people to put your name at the top of the list if they see a swarm. But let's talk about what a swarm is and what's my first experience with the swarm. I said when I was growing up, my dad had a beehive in the backyard, but it was one he went and got the bees and we put them in there, But so I didn't have any experience or knowledge about swarms and what a swarm is. And I came home from I think I was coming home from work at the time. My kids were young. It was just when school was getting out. I pull onto my street and there's just a massive bee, cloud of bees going up the street. And I called the police department. I don't think I called 911, but I called the police department and I said, what do I do? There's all these bees. The kids are getting ready to come home, and they go, call those people. So I was this completely uneducated person about what's going on. So I think it's really important for people to understand, and within like a minute or two, they had already moved on and gone over the houses at the end of the street, and I never saw them again. What is happening, and what should somebody do if they see a swarm?
That's a good question because a lot of times they're fearful. People see these thousands of bees flying down the street like you did.
Yeah.
And they're afraid. They're thinking they're going to be attacked.
Right.
Which the bees are looking for a new home. What happened back in their old home, the queen is so well fed at this time of year because everything's blooming so beautifully. And she can lay up to 2,000 eggs a day.
Wow.
Which fills up all the honeycomb. And the workers, the girls in the family, the daughters.
Yes, they do all the work.
Yeah, they say to the queen, hey, Mom, you filled up all our honeycomb with babies, and we don't have any place to put this nectar that we're going to make honey and the pollen that we're collecting. And so we took a vote, and half of us are leaving. So we're going to make some new queen cells. So because we love you so much, we're taking you with us. This poor queen, she's not making any decisions on her own.
She's just there to lay the eggs.
The daughters are bossing her around. This is something when I tell children, as I say, now you would never tell your mother what these daughters do, but they tell their mom that she's too heavy and she needs to lose weight. They cut her diet back, and they exercise her. They chase her around the hive because she's out of shape. She hasn't been flying since she was a week old.
Oh my
goodness.
She stays in the hive laying eggs, and that's her whole life. How boring is that?
Right.
Smells of flowers. So the daughters, well, just about a day or two before the new queens hatch out, they swoop off. Well, they fill up with honey first before they leave. And they make the queen leave. They push her out the door. And so they take off. And, of course, the queen isn't the greatest flyer. So they land somewhere in a big cluster. And when I get a phone call, I always ask, how big is this cluster? Is it a football size, basketball, beach ball, whatever size?
Yeah.
And ask people to take pictures of it and send it to me, too. So I get an idea. And I also ask how high up they've landed, because I'm only 5 feet tall.
Right.
Yeah. But I have some tricks to get the bees down. If I had this, it's actually a water jug that the bottom's been cut off, and the top has been has some plastic PVC pipe attached to it, so I can put a big long pole on the bottom of this, and now the bottom.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
The bucket on the stick trick. I can put that up underneath the swarm that's hanging on the branch and give it a bump, and the bees fall into the bucket, and then I can dump them into my box. And about 3 or 4 bucket loads, and I have the queen, and because she has a special smell, the other bees will follow into the box. And I don't even have to see her. I can tell by their behavior that I got the queen in the box, because they're flying in. And some of the bees in the box are fanning vigorously to make her smell, her pheromones, go out into the air. And then the other bees say, oh, Mom's over there. I better join them.
So they all go into the box.
They go into the box, and then I tell the homeowner I will be back at sundown to get the box, but I won't take them away until then, because what the bees are doing was their idea was to find a new home. So they're sending out, and I call them, you'll love this, I call them real estate lady bees.
There you go.
It's perfect.
These worker bees are that are sent out, they're the scouts, and they're looking for a new home. And it might be a hole in the wall of your house, or your mailbox, or your compost bin, most anything.
The barbecue. I'm always afraid to lift up the barbecue lid at the
Exactly. Exactly.
Do it
so
slowly.
That's one reason you want a beekeeper to catch that swarm, is so they don't find the wrong place.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
So these little real estate lady bees, I tell them to stay in the box with their mom.
So yes, you're going to find them a new home for them. So yeah.
And so one at sundown, all these little ladies are in the box, and there's a few drones too, usually, but mostly it's a female population.
Mm-hmm.
And they had filled up with honey before they left home, because their first job, wherever their new home is to make comb, so the queen could go back to laying those eggs. and they have to consume 7 pounds of honey to make a pound of wax.
Oh, wow.
The ratio. So before they leave their old home, they fill up on the honey so their wax glands will work and they can draw out comb, because if they can't make comb, then the queen has no place to lay an egg.
Right.
And then they have no place to put their groceries either.
All the stuff, yeah.
Thank goodness.
Nature's wonderful. Yeah.
It's so fascinating.
Really
I mean, the more
is,
you learn and understand how bees work, it's just so fascinating to me with the pollen and the honey and the wax and all of the self-sufficientness of them, But we're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, I want to talk a little, you mentioned like maybe if they moved into your house or something. So maybe we could talk a little bit about how to know the difference between if they're just temporarily there or they've actually moved in, and then what's the difference in how you handle that. So let's talk about that when you get back. But we're going to take just a short break and we'll be right back. I'm Allison Norman.
I'm Stephanie Norman.
And we're the Norman Home Team. You're listening to the Real Estate Hour, and we've got Ettamarie Peterson on the line, and we're talking all about bees, and we'll continue with that when we come back. Be right back. Good morning. We're back. Back and oops, I can't even talk. Continuing our conversation about bees with Ettamarie Peterson. It's like we were saying, welcome back, Ettamarie, and thank you again for calling in on
thank you so much.
taking the time. I know you love to talk about bees, so it's probably not hard. It's any chance you get, and we do too. I mean, a couple of questions. So Stephanie had a quick question about bees.
So I've noticed that a lot of people confuse honeybees with yellow jackets, wasps,
all
those guys.
Yeah. So how do you know?
Yeah, how do you I know how to tell the difference, but how do you explain to other people the difference of them?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good question, because the yellow jackets especially give the honeybees a bad name.
Yeah,
people
are so aggressive.
People think they have to murder everything.
Right.
It's really, but the yellow jacket, the bright yellow color for one thing, and the segmented body, they look more like a puppet. You can definitely tell the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. Where a honeybee, they're all squished together, so you don't see the three body parts.
Oh, okay.
And they're shorter. The yellow jackets are longer, the bumblebees are fatter and fuzzier. They're all good pollinators. That's the interesting thing. Now, yellow jackets actually at this time of the year are beneficial. It's hard to believe because we hate them in the later in the summer. They murder our bees.
Right. They terrorize us at our picnics and stuff.
And they bite and they sting, and honeybees don't do that.
Yeah. Well, their diet changes and their availability of finding the grubs. See, this time of year they're eating. They're eating a lot of the grubs of insects that are eating your garden.
Oh, so they're beneficial that way. Yeah.
They're beneficial. And all these insects are great pollinators. And actually, there are a lot of native bees, but the honey bees are the only ones that make the honey and the wax.
Wow.
And so they're not, the honeybees are a triple of good. They're feeding us by pollinating. They're feeding us by making honey. And they're giving us all this lovely wax that we can use for lip gloss, we can use for polishing, we can use it for waterproofing, we can use for candles. So the honeybees do a lot of work for us, and then they give us the paycheck.
Right? They give back.
They're marvelous, yeah.
And with honeybees, they only sting if they're threatened, right? And then they don't live after that. They die, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you a wonderful story. Just the other day, I was giving a talk to this interesting, it's a private school out in Sebastopol, and it's a multi-age school. And I had all these children sitting in a circle outdoors and telling them about bees. And a honeybee landed on a little girl's hand, on the back of her. And she was a child that is extremely interested in every animal on Earth. And
Nice.
he sat there and watched that honeybee sit on her hand.
Wow.
And the honeybee did not even bother her at all, and she didn't bother it. And then I don't know, I was just talking to the children, and I didn't see exactly what happened, but somewhere she picked up a little blue flower, and this little honeybee to sit on the flower.
Wow.
And I got some wonderful pictures with my cell phone of the bee on her hand and the bee on her flower.
That's amazing. Yeah. So we shouldn't be
that,
afraid of the bees.
The honeybees.
So of the honeybees, yeah, not the yellow jackets is a different story. But so let me ask you. Because I don't want to run out of time, and I want to make sure we give out your contact information and all of that.
Right.
But how do you know if it's a swarm versus the bees have moved in, and they found their home, and then it's different way of handling it, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. One thing is if there's a hole in the side of your building, the wall, or, usually sometimes where the electric wires go in or some little that. And if you see these bees, and you're watching them come in, if they have pollen on their legs, you know that hive is established in that wall.
Oh, that's a good tip. Okay.
Yeah, because if they're just flying in, checking it out, there's a mass of bees partly in the house and partly outside, and they're moving in. And when I see that, if they just arrive, very often, not 100%, but I have this trick to chase them back out. If they have not established, they have just arrived. I have this product called Bee Quick. It's BE-Quick, and I put it on a feather or a piece of paper or something, and push it in the hole, and it chases them back out. They don't like the smell.
Okay. Hey, I have to cut you off. I'm so sorry, but we're going to run out of time, and I wish that we had more time to talk. But Joe's giving me the signal. But I want to how does somebody reach you if they want to get a hold of you, and if they have a swarm or if they have more questions?
Okay. Yeah, the best way to reach me is my cell phone. That's 707-479-1613.
Perfect.
I'm also listed on the Sonoma Beekeeper Association's website.
Okay.
Under the South Cluster.
Okay.
Because I'm Petaluma.
Perfect. And so it's I'm sorry, we gotta go. But it's sonomabees.org. Ettamarie Peterson, thank you. And gosh, we should have you back on for more information. Let's do that.
So much information.
And then also Peterson's Farm is where you live and work on your farm there in Petaluma. So have a great day. I'm Allison Norman.
I'm Stephanie Norman.
We're the Norman Home Team. You've been listening to the Real Estate Hour. Find us on Facebook, Norman Home Team, the Real Estate Hour with Allison and Stephanie Norman.